Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, dear friends, dear viewers. A World Championship match is going, and for recaps I very much recommend C Squared podcast, and especially you can find round 1 and round 3 recaps with very deep analysis. And the first round recap I watched, so third round recap I will watch upcoming hours. I very much recommend. Yes, score is 1.5, 1.5. So first round Ding managed to win with the black pieces. Second game ended in a draw. Third game Gukesh managed to win with the white pieces. And today on 28th of November players are having first rest day, and tomorrow on 29th of November players will continue the match. We will have fourth game. Yes, this is about the World Championship match. Yes, we do have another very interesting, exciting tournament in Uzbekistan. So already 7 rounds had been played. We see that 2 players are leading, Nihal and Sindarov. They are facing each other on round 8. Nihal is having white pieces, and we see that 2 other players are having 5.5 points out of 7, Bohidov and Nilash, who drew and who is having so far amazing event. Yes, let me just show you. Yes, he started with 2 wins, and then he drew Nihal, Branik, and then won against Gareev and Bernatsky, and then drew against Parham. So he's increasing 27 points. He's on 3rd place, of course, behind the players who has simply more points than him. His rating performance is 2768, and his international rating is 2458. Yes, he is not that young. His international master rated 2458. Yes, a few players are really impressing. Of course, Nihal and Sindarov, they are having so far very interesting, very good tournament. And yes, I think Nodirbek plays in a very high level, as usually he does. So 5 points out of 7, we shouldn't say from Nodirbek Abdusadorov something impressive. I should also say that Ordik Nikmatov is doing, he was doing very well. Unfortunately, he lost against Nihal yesterday, so you can see he won against Parham, against Branesh, and then Sindarov, Nodirbek, Abdusadorov he drew. He won against Taba with the black pieces, and he lost with the black pieces against Nihal. And today with the white pieces he is facing against Sankalp. So international master rating is 2447. His rating performance is 2790. And he is increasing about 31 elo points. This year I played him, and I knew him already a couple of years. He's a decent player, but nothing impressive. Let's say I don't remember him performing anything like now, like in this tournament. Of course, some other players are also having very good tournament. For example, Atabayev Yes, he lost Nihal. I think it was maybe not yesterday, but it was probably the day before. Yes, after losing Nihal, he won against Orozbaev. But he started with 2 draws against low-rated opponents, and then he had 3 wins against low-rated players, and then he lost 25-20. His rating performance is 25-77. Yes, he's increasing his rating. Yes, nothing that much. Yes, of course, I also want to touch and discuss 85th Armenian Men's Championship, first league. So round robin tournament, we are having how many participants? So far, I guess it's, where do I see? 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, 12 participants. As you can see, except Levon Babujan, other players are, let's say, under 20, 3 players, and we have few players under 18 and some players under 16. Yes, this is quite impressive, some achievement. So the players played 4 rounds, and yes, we see that 2 players are having 3.5 points out of 4. Sargsyan and Benik Agasarov. Arsen Davtyan is having 3 points. Mamikon Gharibian is 2.5. Vladimir Shahinyan, Levon Babujan 2 points. And we see Alex Sahakian, Eric Gasparian, Vahe Sukyasyan, Eric Hakopian are having 1.5 points. Robert Pileposyan is having 1 point, and Stefan Pogosyan half point. Yes, some of the games I will analyze very deeply today. Yes, for example, I'm not much familiar with Stefan Pogosyan. Of course, I know him already a couple of years, but I did not play him much. I played one classical game against Robert Pileposyan, and he's under 18, and he's a decent player. Eric Hakopian as well. Yes, they are 24 plus players. Vahe Sukyasyan is maybe a little bit lower than 2400, but he beat Pranesh M this year, a couple of months ago. Eric Gasparian, decent player. He just recently had 7 points out of 10 in European Individual Championship, and if he would win, he would qualify to World Cup, and he lost to Ivan Saric, if I'm not mistaken anything. Alex Sahakian, of course, Levon Babujan, Grandmaster. Yes, Vladimir Shahinyan, under 16. Yes, Mamikon Gharibian, no need to introduce. Very decent player, and of course, yes, I'm very much impressed by the level of prep, by the level of game of Sargsyan. Of course, Benik Agasarov also impresses a lot. He's 15 years old, I think 15-16 years old, and of course, no doubts, no questions to Arsen Davtyan, who recently didn't have the best World Youth Championship, but now he's in leading group. And also a couple of words about Armenian Women's Championship, the first league. We see that 2 players are having 4 out of 4. Kobak, Palina and Arpine Grigorian. We see 8 players are having 3 points out of 4. Yes, it's very interesting. I wish all the players good luck. in men's tournament as well. Let's just I just want to show you the blunder in this was 7th round, and Ordik Nigmatov was leading the tournament, but he blundered. Yes, in this position, let's say bishop e7 or bishop g7, probably bishop e7, e3, bishop f5, bishop d3 takes, and yes, he went h6 and bishop takes knight d5, and black is in huge trouble. If c takes, the queen c8 comes, otherwise you don't have any compensation, anything. Engines are already showing +1 point something. And of course Nihal didn't give any chances. It was the best, maybe all the time it was close to +1 or +1 point something, and Nihal won this game without much efforts. Okay, now I want to start checking the games, so I picked 3 players: Sindarov, Ordik Nigmatov, and Nihal Sarin. So first round game, Sindarov with the white pieces against Ekaterina Goltseva. Let me switch on some engine and we can check. Okay, knight f3, knight f6, c4, e6, g3, d5, bishop g2, and d3 move. Yes, nowadays very trendy move, very popular move. I also played this d3 already a few times in online rapid and blitz games. Yes, c5, knight e5, and here we see that yes, I played recently against Jan Nepomniachtchi. He played queen c7, f4, knight c6. We see that a6 or queen d6, f4, knight b7. Yes, knight b7, not the best move, takes e4. And white is already having some slight pressure. d takes, bishop c6, queen e2. Knight d7, f4. Yes, this is already slight advantage for white. Rook e8, knight c3, bishop f8. Yes, already huge advantage for white. b3, e5, g4, bishop e3, queen c7, g4, and yes, simply black doesn't have much counterplay. White is slowly pushing g5, maybe h4, and she went f5. G takes, e takes, e5. White is already winning according to computers. Knight b6, b3, rook d8, rook d1, king h8. Bishop d5 would have been stronger, but you don't really want to allow opponent take on d5 with to trade the knight with your light squared bishop. So takes, b takes c would have been better, but of course you completely ruin your structure. Queen takes c6. But I should say that Goltseva Ekaterina, she has 2378. So it means for the first round especially, very unpleasant opponent. Bishop f2, threatening some bishop h4, I guess. Rook d3, and slowly king h1, takes, g5, and rook d6, takes, king f3. Yes, white is completely winning. Maybe Sindarov could play better than he played, but anyway, position is completely winning. Rook e6, very important move to not let bishop e5. Yes, check, and takes, and d6, and rook c5, rook b5, rook b7, bishop b4. I guess rook d7 here also works. Yes, bishop c5 takes, and first win for Sindarov. Oops, not this side, probably the other side. Yes, Nikhmatov against Parham. So this is well known. This is well known, and I should say that it was. I don't exactly remember against whom. Maybe it was against Aristanbek Urazaev. Nodirbek Yakuboyev went queen c7 somewhere. I mean h6 and then queen c7. Something new. So this h5. This is very well known. Hard to say. Did Nikhmatov really expect this line by Parham or not? Bishop e3, knight d7, and long castle. Long castle, knight f8. I like very much this idea of going bishop e3, long castle, king b1, c4, and somewhere d5. Yes, king b1 or c4, bishop e6. I think players are more or less aware of this. Knight c3, knight g6 even, rook c8, king b1, bishop b8. Engine doesn't like bishop b8, rook e1, knight g6. Yes, I think Parham last couple of months doesn't play as strong as usually he plays, but of course it happens. Yes, he is in some trouble. 4, very good move, but this was only round 2, and no one at that time knew that Nikhmatov is going to crush everyone. C takes, and bishop d7 is the strongest. Rook takes c3, and here b takes c, queen d5, g3, and white is winning. Yes, maybe not the most obvious continuation. So takes, rook e8. Of course, you cannot take queen e8 because of rook d3, and knight e5. Hard to say, did Nikhmatov blunder or not? But anyway, white is g6 is only move, otherwise queen h5. And here queen d7. I think white is very safe, and especially king on b1. And Parham played queen c7. Queen d7 is the strongest move. And this queen b3, and now game is over. Queen c4, there is queen b6. So this queen d3 is just finishing the game, which is hard to understand. I guess you threaten some queen d5 maybe. So bishop g5, which is also a very nice move, because queen c5, queen b7, queen b4, not the easiest move to find. And of course Parham did not manage to find it, and he played this, and now e6. Surprisingly, this pawn goes e7, and then queen d8 ideas are there. So bishop b6, e7, rook d4, queen b3, rook d5, rook c1, and yes, rook c8 is finishing the game. So, yes, this is second round game of Sindarov with the black pieces against 24-19 rated player. Yes, this bishop f4, e6, e3. Recently Nihal played this b6, bishop b7 a lot. Bishop b4, bishop e7, h3, avoiding all knight h5 ideas. c5, knight c3, yes, c takes d, and now black is already fine. Knight d4, short castle. Yes, surprisingly with this opening, white has more principal moves like g3 or knight c3. Bishop f4 is very solid, but I think here maybe he played knight c3, even h3. As knight c3 just takes, and after it takes d, black is already better. d5, short castle, knight c6, black is already slightly better. d takes knight c6, a3, bishop d6 or knight a5, bishop d3, rook c8, knight e5, knight e5. Engine doesn't like this knight e5, bishop d2, knight c6 back, so takes, bishop takes, rook e1, queen d7, rook c1, rook d8, knight e4, knight f6, bishop c3. Yes, huge advantage for positional advantage for black with this isolated pawn on d4. Yes, but it's not lost for white. Bishop g5, provoking f4, b5. Already this is winning. b5 engine doesn't like much. King h1, h5, queen e2, h4. Yes, rook c4, rook d5, preparing a5 b4, bishop c7, a5, rook back, bishop takes, g5. Yes, and here bishop d2 was the best move. Rook d4, bishop f4, so bishop c3 and queen c2, and bishop g3 and queen b3, queen c2, queen f2, takes rook c4, yes, very classic game by Sindarov. Yes, and d takes rook e5 checkmate, otherwise you are losing or trading. We are trading all the heavy pieces. Yes, another game, Sindarov with the white pieces, third round against Mikhail Nikitenko. Just a second. Yes, e4, c5, bishop b5, this e5, and here I know that d4 is the main move. I played d4 against Daniel Yufa. I also played d3, knight e7, bishop e3 against Adam Favzi. Yes, I'm aware of this knight a3 move. Yes, here if you go d4, then let's say takes. Yes, takes. Bishop f4, you go a6. This is very important for some reason, and you go knight e7, and bishop d6, and you go b5, and bishop b3, you go bishop b7. This is very critical position. You go e5, rook e1, but I guess rook e1, knight c8, e5, or e5. Yes, e5 maybe here. I'm not. I think I played maybe e5, or I did something else. No, I did not play e5. Yes, knight c8 anyway. Okay, knight a3. This is very much possible move. Knight c4. When I had my game against Favzi, I checked this knight a3, knight c4, and I was planning to play this line. Queen c7, knight c8, rook takes c8. Yes, and black is completely fine. d3, d5, bishop a4. It's a playable position. h6, queen e2, and let's see how Sindarov did manage to outplay and win the game. King h1. Yes, king h7, f5. Nice move. And here just knight takes f5. Black is better. G takes f, and this engine doesn't like much. Knight h4. queen d6, bishop d2, g3, rook e1, f3, b5, f4. Yes, f4 engine doesn't like much. d4, f takes c, knight takes c, c takes d, rook takes d4, but c takes d, h3, rook c8, knight d7. He played bishop d1. White is slightly better, not much. Knight e5, rook e1, rook e1, and knight e5. Rook e8 he played, and just queen c6, and now h6 is hanging, a6 is hanging, king h7, and not queen takes a6, g4, g takes f, queen e6. Of course, Mikhail didn't want to trade the queens because of the very obvious reasons, but this is already completely lost. B takes a and queen a5, this bishop h6, and here Mikhail resigned. Yes, very nice game. And now we are back to checking Nigmatov's game. Bishop d6. It's very much interesting what would Pranesh play against knight d4. I guess bishop c4. I don't think he was really planning to play this line, which became very popular after Robert Ovanesyan started winning a couple of classical games. Bishop d6. d3, short castle, bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, knight d4. I think Robert Ovanesyan also played against Bluebaum, yes. h6, bishop h4, knight d4. So a6, you can take bishop a4, b5, bishop b3, bishop e7. They got some Spanish Roy Lopez with d3, h4, and something new, d6, a4, b4, knight d5, just rook b8, knight takes d5. Engine doesn't like knight d5 at all, and now white is much better after bishop e3, rook b8, knight g5, h6, queen h5. And here just b3 or g4 also. Engine likes. Yes, but here something like rook h3, rook g1, not king d2 for sure. And somehow this b3 works. Of course, we fully understand that Pranesh wanted to play a rook a g1, but no b3. c3, knight e7, rook g1, and b takes c works, but knight e7. For example, if I play queen g6, what's the problem with queen g6? Bishop g5, h takes g, knight e7. And here, for the same reason, yes. Okay, this rook g1, knight e7, bishop b3, bishop a4, takes, this check. And here Nigmatov could repeat by playing queen a1, but he decided to play for something more. Knight f3, d takes c, queen e5 was the only move, d takes c, knight g6, and this is already very unpleasant. Yes, white's attack doesn't go anywhere, and king e2 or g takes h would have been stronger. And knight f4 takes, and here in this very unpleasant position Pranesh played knight d3 and then knight e1. Yes, this is huge mistake. And bishop c5, f2 is hanging, and I like this queen h3, rook h3, rook f2, or this. It was very impressive win by Nigmatov, this year I played against Pranesh. I know how difficult it is to face Pranesh. Yes, this was probably some very deep home prep. This we know. H4. Yes, knight f3 is another option. H4. Bishop e7. Queen f3. f5. Bishop takes. Rook f8. Yes, he is facing Nigmatov. Ordik faces Nodirbek Abdusatorov. So this takes, king d7, d3, king c7, bishop d2, king b7, queen e4, rook b8, queen a4, queen b6, short castle, and somewhere here bishop takes a5, queen a6, b3, and I guess here Nodirbek went wrong. Rook f4, knight e4, bishop h3. Rook f4, knight e4, bishop h3. What is this? Like, why do... Yes. And if g takes h, I guess it's checkmate. g3, rook g8, bishop c7, queen a4, b takes a, rook g8. And what? How do I lose? Yes, because queen also joins. So knight f4, and maybe white is already in some... black is in some trouble and white is much better. Bishop g5, h takes g, queen b7, bishop c3 or bishop d2 takes. Yes, and here he could take queen c6, bishop b7, queen h6. For some reason he was afraid of that. Bishop d7, bishop b7, takes, f3, queen g7, c3, queen g5, queen d4, rook g8, queen f2, bishop c8, knight d2, bishop h3, and very soon players got this position, which is a fortress. Yes, game ended in a draw. And yes, very important win for Nihal Sarin, round 6 against Atabayev with the black pieces. And here this all known. And yes, white is having some advantage. Long castle, short castle, b4, rook b1, short castle, e5, rook fd1, and here a4, knight d7 by Nihal, knight c5, knight d2, rook ab1, queen a5, and black is already fine. Rook fc8, b4, takes, queen a3, knight d4 takes, rook a3, maybe bishop d4 is a threat. It's hard to believe, but this position is very, very bad for white. Yes, because you are slowly losing your b3 pawn. And whenever bishop c5, they take c. Bishop c3, e5, bishop takes b4, knight a4, bishop e1, c5, b5, check, knight b6. Yes, somewhere maybe you can take on d3 as well. And game over. Yes, Sindarov round 7. This game was played yesterday. And I should say that Sankalp is very good in openings, and not only. So this is known. Bishop, I guess bishop knight a6 is the strongest move, is the correct move to start. Bishop e7, because yes, now some knight e3 extra option. Yes, if short castle knight a6, so we can say that Sankalp mixed up the move order. Short castle b4, and just to check, yes, I think knight a6, and if knight a3 you go bishop c5 already. Yes. Knight c7, knight d5, takes rook b1, rook d8, short castle, knight c7, bishop b2, queen h5, queen c2, rook c1, and here knight d8 or knight b5, knight e6, which does look very logical to slowly bring the knight to g5, but f4 now. Knight f4, knight f8, d3, a5, bishop e5, d4, rook takes c8, rook takes g4, bishop takes, knight f5, yes, here b5 or queen a4, b takes a, rook d7, and Sankalp Gupta defends very well when he's having very bad position. So here bishop takes f takes queen a5. I should also say that it was probably Sankalp was playing with the black pieces against Nihal, and he lost eventually, but game last more than 100 moves. Bishop e5 takes queen a5, rook c5, bishop f6, queen f6, bishop b7, rook a5, queen b4, bishop e4, and here knight e6, g6, very bad move, g5, knight h6, and here h4, maybe preparing f5, knight g4, knight e6, knight f6, h4, f5, bishop d5 would have been better, rook d7, g takes f, knight d6, rook c1, another mistake, and queen b2, rook e1, e4, very good move, rook d7, knight h6, and queen f2. e1 is hanging, f7 is hanging. Yes, it was very complicated game. Sankalp definitely had his chances, but I think time control is just 90 minutes plus 30 seconds without any increment, without 30 minutes increment after move 40. Yes, this was... Yes, usually some players are going h6 already here, short castle, bishop d3, rook e8, knight f3, and h6, bishop f4, bishop f6 even, bishop f4, c5, d takes c, bishop c5, okay, short castle, d takes c, bishop takes c5, short castle, rook c1, short castle, knight c6, and here rook c1, d takes c, knight b5, d takes c, bishop c5, h3, knight b5, knight b5, c4, bishop c2, knight h5, bishop c7, queen d7, bishop e5, knight f6, h3, a6, and then b5, bishop b7, takes, knight h2, bishop d8, queen h5, b4. Very high quality level game. Queen e7, queen d6, a takes b, knight takes b, knight g4, bishop c8, and now bishop c8 takes rook e1, bishop b1 by Nodirbek, bishop g4, h takes rook b8, rook d1, rook d2, queen h3, bishop f5, takes. Yes, and here Nodirbek Abdusatorov offered the draw. Yes, this game was just interesting. And g5, bishop g3, bishop e5, rook g8, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, c6, avoiding queen a4, bishop d3, f6, knight f3, queen e7. I think this was the game. Pulvet Royal, a3, takes, knight d6, knight d2, bishop e6, and even long castle. a4, h5, a5, h4, rook b1, h3, g3, e takes c, knight takes c, knight takes c, bishop takes, queen d6, rook b1, rook e8. Yes, Nikitenko against Taba, c4, queen takes d4, a6, and here rook b7, a takes b, engine doesn't like because of king b8, and now black is already better. Yes, very soon Amin got a winning position. Yes, now it's close to huge advantage for black. Bishop b5, bishop a4, hard to explain. Rook f1, bishop c2. So takes, bishop takes h3, king b7, rook c1, threatening some bishop d7, bishop g2, h4, g takes h, f4 is coming. I think later on none of the sides had any real chances. Yes, rook b3 even forces the position even more. Yes, game ended in a draw. Kartikeyan against Nihal. For those who plays with the white pieces, London, or wants to study, have something against London system, I think this is very safe choice. C takes d, e takes d, bishop d7, with the ideas to go bishop b5. Yes, here I also like bishop d6 move very much. Yes, c3, bishop b5, and here a few times I saw that players are pushing h4 with the idea bishop f1, king f1, and later on g3, king g2. But we see that bishop b5 and a4 engine likes more. Yes, this, and queen b6 or knight bd7, queen b5, queen b6, king e2, knight h5, bishop e5, not bishop e3, f6, bishop g3, g5, bishop d6. Yes, engine doesn't like bishop d6, takes g3. Yes, takes knight takes b6, knight c8. And slowly Karthikeyan morally outplayed Nihal and got some advantage from this equal position. Yes, I think this knight e3 was f takes c, and now white is already better. Even a takes b is working, which is even stronger than f takes c. g4, g6. Yes, engine doesn't like g6 at all. Yes, g5. Knight e4, f5, g takes, knight f5, knight c5, which means draw. Knight f6 is not much. Takes, rook b3, game ended in a draw. This one we checked already. Yes, this one we didn't. Sindarov against Zemlyansky. And c3, bishop e7, bishop f4 move. Yes, knight c5, short castle is much stronger. Knight d4, queen d7. And what if I go knight bd2? You just go knight c5. So probably the idea was to go knight d4 and you just play queen d7. Let's see. Zemlyansky went knight c5, bishop c2, bishop g4, knight bd2, bishop h5, and now white is already getting some slightly better position. Bishop g3, short castle, queen b1, maybe knight b3 would have been better, bishop g6, rook d1, and black is fine after queen d7, takes, and yes, bishop takes c2, inaccuracy. And now white is better, and before knight e4, white is already much better. a3, knight goes back, knight c5, takes, knight c4, a4, this queen d3, rook f5, rook e1, takes, knight c4, bishop c7, a4 would have been better, and takes, and rook e6, completely winning position for white. g6, h4, takes. Yes, very convincing win by Sindarov. And yes, now I also selected some games from Armenian men's championship first league. Yes, Vahe Sukyasyan is playing Eric Gasparian, so this is well-known line, and here, yes, the right way to start is knight takes d5, knight takes d5, rook d5. So rook takes d5, which allows c takes d, and white is winning. So Eric Gasparian mixed up the move order, but anyway, Vahe Sukyasyan took with the knight, and here bishop f3, takes f, bishop d6, f4, and many games in this line ended in a draw. And here, this is also possible, bishop f4 or f4. Yes, here takes, and white is already slightly better. and rook e1, very good move, and king g1, and nothing is really working here. Yes, completely. Queen e5 is also there. Rook e7, Queen c5, and checkmate ideas are coming. Yes, Levon Babujan lost against Sargsyan. Yes, this is all known. Knight c6 move. Takes a3. Takes knight e7, and if you take on c7, then knight c6 comes. Yes, players tried knight e5, for example here knight g6, c6, bishop d3 or queen f3, bishop d3, bishop f5, short castle, bishop d3, queen d3, queen e6, b4, e6, a4, rook fc8, queen b1, knight f5, knight is heading towards d6, stopping b5. Black is slightly better. Yes, Sargsyan, who is having 23-21, played very classic game according to computers. h5, and of course white doesn't have much problems. This and this. Yes, here some moves are possible. Black is slightly better. b5 by Levon Babujan, rook e8, b6, queen c8, 8xb, rook e8, and now b6 and queen d8, and here queen g3. Again, black is slightly better. King g1. Yes, hard to say which move exactly Levon Babujan blundered. Queen b6, it takes f, king h7, black is winning, and here black is also much better. Yes, d6 pawn doesn't go anywhere. d4, d7, it takes rook d5. Yes, rook d5 anyway, and d3, and d takes c. Yes, d3 is not the best. Rook d6 just works. Knight b7, d6, queen d8, and b6, and f5, and this is of course completely lost position for white. Levon Babujan resigned. And another game, Sargsyan played against Robert Piliposyan, 23-21 against 24-18, but I played Robert Piliposyan and we had also this line, and I couldn't pose much problems. Knight bd2, this is known, and here bishop d4. Yes, queen d5 is the main move. Rook e1. Yes, here some other moves are also possible. d2, rook fd8, b4, rook fd8, h4. Yes, you can take knight d4, c takes the bishop b4, d2 takes, bishop takes, rook takes, queen b3, and here yes, Robert Piliposyan didn't play the best move. Queen b3 is the strongest, so knight takes d4, queen d4, and here queen g4. Black is in some trouble. Bishop c5, e6, so Robert went queen e6, takes knight d4, and now black is in some trouble. King f7, rook e4 comes, so bishop h4. Yes, rook e4, already huge advantage, close to winning. g3 also not very bad. f5, g6, g4, h5 was possible, but position is already lost. And here king h2 was wrong. King f1 or king f2, rook g4, rook e3, rook g8, rook h3, bishop h4, king h1, h5. Yes, king f6, this king e5, and here hard to blame Robert that he didn't find rook h4 move. Yes, rook h5 is the only move to save the game. e7, f6, takes, knight c7, knight e8. Of course, the rest was very easy. Yes, simply bringing the king closer to b pawn. And Robert resigned. Yes, all the games I wanted to show you, dear friends, dear viewers. Continue following World Championship match in Singapore. Today's players are having rest day, and tomorrow on 29th of November, fourth game will be played. Also, please follow this tournament in Uzbekistan, President Cup, very interesting tournament, and already, as I showed, Armenian men's championship, first league. Despite players are little bit less known than others, but they are very strong, very young, and some very interesting games are being played. Thank you very much. Please leave your comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like this video. It will take only a couple of seconds. And thank you very much.